Hi everyone, Kelt here, bringing you my thoughts on the British royal family, and today I'll be talking about King Charles's latest portrait. The fact that it was just so red had me wondering if it was in fact a joke. Apparently it wasn't, but I still think there's a big reason behind this portrait being primarily red. His face was almost floating, or his head was almost floating in the picture, looking quite disembodied. The shadowy and mottled face, yes, it was a good likeness, but I've seen better photos of him. And the butterfly, which was about to land on his shoulder or about to take off, a monarch butterfly, I would think. And the choice of red was said to be because of his Welsh Guards uniform being red, but to have the whole thing red just smacks of either a bloodbath or a depiction of him in hellfire. This was according to some of the comments. It's not as if they were flowers that were red, or a red background consisting of a red curtain maybe, but it was painted in a way to purposely make it look disturbing with a lot of movement. His floating head almost looks like it was cut out from a newspaper. Didn't look that real in that picture. It looks separate from his body, but I think that was intentional. The mottled skin looked like a nod to his father. It was strangely, and dare I say it, reptilian looking, not like the age spots or sun damage you would expect to see in aging skin, but more uniform and in a definite, almost camouflage type pattern. One comment on social media is as follows. One person says, "Looks as if he's going straight to hell." End quote. Charles actually looked quite happy with it, but looking closely at the photo of him, it doesn't even look like King Charles looking at the portrait of himself. He even did a little dramatic jump when he pulled the curtain on it and the curtain fell down. It was all very staged. The hands were looking a bit strange to me as well. Obviously the artist couldn't make them look exactly as they do because Charles is supposed to have this weird thing going on which makes his fingers swell up, this illness. But really he could have faded the hands out and just had the face more prominent. The more I look at it, the more it looks as if it was painted with blood. Some of the bits are quite dark, almost brownish looking, and yes, why wouldn't it be? You have artists like Marina Abramovich who are into all sorts of weird things, so it wouldn't surprise me. I know there are artists who like to use a bit of real raw material in their pictures. Who knows? I think it was intended to shock and to be controversial. But it is strange that the portrait looks more like King Charles than the King Charles actually looking at it. The 8.5 feet by 6.5 feet painting was created by British artist Jonathan Yeo, who has also painted others such as Tony Blair and Nicole Kidman. Another comment was, and I quote, "All the blood spilled around the world under the royal family's command," end quote. And when Camilla saw the picture, she said, "Yes, you've got him," and I'm pretty sure they had. The artist said that he was inspired by the Welsh Guards' red uniform and he chose the vivid red of the glazes in the background to echo the uniform's bright red tunic, but also to add a dynamic modern contrast. Usually portraits of kings and queens would have a sepia or dark brown background, which I actually prefer. I really like that look, but this was obviously embracing the more modern. Charles was said by the artist to have been mildly surprised by the strong colour, but otherwise was smiling approvingly. There are some jokes going around about tampons, which you will have to research for yourself because I'm not covering that here. One comment was, and I quote, "Either King Charles really is evil, or he just got royally trolled by that artist," end quote. And another comment was, and again I quote, "This is hideous," end quote. And another quote was, "If you flip it upside down and mirror image it, you get a whole new level of creepy. These people are not even trying to hide who they are anymore," end quote. So I did this, or I thought I did this, and I couldn't see a thing. I really tried. But then I took it literally, what was being said, and I flipped it upside down and then reversed one of the pictures. And yes, I could see what others could see. As for whether it's a coincidence or intentionally created in that way, I have painted pictures using different techniques, and quite often when you sponge a background or use layering techniques, you can get creepy looking faces in the background without even trying. But this is something totally different. I think it probably was intentional. I'm actually looking for positive comments, and I'm not able to find any at the moment. But from my point of view, positively speaking, the likeness is really good. It does have some lovely red glazes in the background and definitely catches the eye, but I wouldn't want it on my wall. So, what with the camo skin on the face and hands and the swirling red inferno, the eyes looked dead, unemotional, in my opinion. Though some others were saying that his face was full of compassion, there was maybe a slight look of that, but there was something about the eyes in this portrait that looked slightly pained, almost verging on sinister, not at all like some previous portraits of him. So, here's a short slideshow of some royal portraits of various royals over the years. Amongst the portraits is one that I did, so see if you can guess which one it was. Some of you already know. So let me have your comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.